Students, welcome back. This is part 2 of your epic journey through the introduction to trigonometry. The last question of our note says a moped is traveling at 35 miles per hour and has wheels with diameter of 2 feet. Find the revolutions per minute and the angular velocity of the wheel. One consideration on this particular problem is that you'll notice the moped speed is measured in miles per hour, while the diameter of the wheel is measured in feet. So we're going to need to do a little bit of conversion, and the way to go here is to convert miles per hour into feet per minute. That will help us figure out the revolutions per minute. So one thing I know is that there are 5,280 feet and 1 mile. That will change us into feet. And the other thing I know is that for every hour there are 60 minutes. And if we go through and look, that'll knock out hours and miles, and we'll simply be left with feet per minute. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this in the calculator. 5,280 times 35 divided by 60, and we have our value. This is 3,080 feet per minute. Again, that's the speed at which the moped is traveling. The problem asks us, though, to find the number of revolutions per minute. In other words, how many times do the wheels turn every minute? To figure out how far the wheels are turning, we really need to know the circumference of the wheels, and we can do that by taking pi times the diameter of 2, and I'm just going to leave that as 2 pi then. Alright, so our revolutions per minute would be the number of times this spins per minute, so it would be 3,080 feet per minute divided by 2 pi, and that would be measured in feet per rotation. In other words, every time the wheel spins once, we have 2 pi feet that we're traveling. There's a really simple mistake to make on this calculation. It looks simple, but remember, when you punch buttons in your calculator, it's going to follow order of operations, so we need to put 2 pi in parentheses to avoid the situation of divided by 2 times pi. And so there we go. That is our rotations per minute would be 400, or I guess I've called it revolutions, but 490 revolutions per minute. Rotations, revolutions, those two words can be used interchangeably. All right, let's take a look at the second part of this, the angular velocity. And that's to be measured in radians per minute. So what I'm going to do there is, we know that we're traveling 490, and it's obviously 490.197, etc. revolutions per minute. And every revolution consists of 2 pi radians. So that's 2 pi radians per revolution. If I do that multiplication, revolutions will be canceled out. We'll be left with radians per minute. Now, you really don't need to punch this into the calculator, because if you look at your screen now, you can see the way we've got 490 was by taking 3,080 and dividing by 2 pi. So if we were to multiply by 2 pi, we would be right back to where we started. So 3,080 radians per minute. I hope this has helped you to understand our topic of the day. As you work on the homework, if you get stuck on anything, don't be afraid to ask questions. Good luck.